You know, the next thing is, man, Craig Mack was the one that jumped Bad Boy off. And, and it got so bad that Craig Mack, who died from AIDS, that man, he got brainwashed so bad from Diddy and got done so wrong. The man went to South Carolina and joined a cult with his family until he died of AIDS a few years ago.
His dumbass lawyer said he probably got it at Costco. Costco hit right back. We don't even sell baby oil. We be having a real conversation about some real shit.
When Katt Williams speaks, the entertainment world pays attention, drawn to his bold honesty and sharp recollection of Hollywood moments. A wave of resurfaced clips and fast-moving online chatter has pulled him back into the spotlight, now circling conversations connected to Sean Diddy Combs. Social media is buzzing with speculation about which major stars crossed paths at high-profile events, and the quiet reactions from big names are only fueling curiosity. This moment isn't about confirming anything, it's about how influence, perception, and viral storytelling collide. As names like Leonardo DiCaprio, Jay-Z, Beyoncé, Mariah Carey, Jennifer Lopez, Usher, and others trend, the internet continues shaping the narrative in real time.
What does that mean?
A party favor. That was somebody you could take off the table.
So you're telling me they set children?
I set children on a table.
Like when you go to a birthday party and they have gift bags for everybody that comes that have candy and toys in them,
Yep.
And they set them on the table. So you're telling me at the freak-off parties, they put children on the table instead of gift bags, and then people can do what?
Take you off the table and have, even though it's against the rules to do certain things like X or full house. Sometimes that's against the rules. Like for me, that was against the rules, but that didn't matter. That did not matter.
So they come choose you off the table, do whatever they want with you, and then what happens?
And they put you back on the table.
They put you back on the table for somebody else to come choose you? Okay. That's called a party favor effect. That's just one of the little things that go on at the freak-off parties with children. Were there animals there?
Goats.
Did they turn the animals loose on the kids?
Yeah.
And if you got sick and threw up because it was so disgusting, what happened?
You had to eat it.
You had to eat your vomit if you threw up. That's satanic ritual. Diddy was at this party? Denzel Washington was at this party?
Yep.
Birdman was at this party?
Yes, he was.
And Young Jock?
Yep.
And you're telling me Denzel was there and it was after 1 o'clock when he supposedly left?
And beanie, socks, and a gold chain.
So you're telling me Denzel Washington was butt naked, he had a beanie on, socks on, and a gold chain, and that's it. In front of children.
Yep.
Funny. Because he sure portrays himself to be holier than thou.
Yep. So a lot of them do.
I think you also told me that one of those men have a birthmark.
Left thigh.
So one of those men have a birthmark on their left thigh.
Yep.
Did you have interactions with Diddy? Denzel? And I know we don't tell on Denzel. You might not tell on Denzel, but your mama gonna tell on everybody. I ain't keeping no secrets.
Online chatter has grown so quickly that some people are even comparing this circulating list to other infamous internet discussions, sparking questions about how far certain connections might go. What stands out is how fast the story gained momentum and how deliberately the individuals mentioned have stayed silent. No one listed has been linked to any confirmed wrongdoing or tied to Diddy's current legal situation, yet the mere association being pushed by social media speculation is enough to keep the public locked in and the conversation alive.
So stick around, because what you're about to see is straight from the inside. So people like Attorney General Pam Bondi were flaunting around the Epstein files in February of this year. You even had people like Katt Patel, who has been deeply embedded in Trump's orbit, saying that Jeffrey Epstein didn't commit suicide and that the files are indeed real. But our sources, and yes, we're deeply connected inside the White House, have a very different story to tell than the one that's being told to the public.
I am fascinated by this because Patel and Bongino were leading the conspiracy theories about Epstein's death and whether there was a client list. I never thought they would do a flip, but it sounds like they almost have, and they're on board with the notion that it was suicide and there's no list.
Well, very much so. The Department of Justice, with the sign-off of the FBI, released a statement and a memo. Axios first reported it, saying there was no client list and there was no suicide.
Now, during all of this, Diddy had been convicted on 2 counts of the Mann Act, which is transporting across state lines for the purpose of prostitution. And we got word from insiders at the White House that Donald Trump was seriously considering pardoning Diddy. Roll the clip.
This is a big deal. This is a big deal. President Trump is seriously considering pardoning Diddy. And we know this. We have sources with direct knowledge that people from the White House have been in communication with the defense team, Diddy's defense team, and that Trump is seriously considering it, and this is going to be timed to the judge's decision on whether Diddy gets bail.
This would be the ultimate smokescreen, and we've seen for weeks some very major smokescreens, but this one would have to take the cake.
And on the surface, this link kind of starts to make sense, right? 2 men, both accused in high-profile both convinced they were being unfairly targeted, and both using the media to frame themselves as victims. But then everything shifted. Diddy was denied bail. After that, Trump came out and said that he once got along with Diddy very well, but he was leaning towards not pardoning Diddy because Diddy was, quote, very hostile to him during the time that Trump was running for office. Roll the clip.
Sean Diddy Combs.
Right.
Would you consider pardoning him?
Well, he was essentially, I guess, sort of half innocent.
Yes.
I don't know what they do. He's still in jail or something, but he was celebrating a victory, but he seems, I guess it wasn't as good as a victory. Probably, I was very friendly with him. I got along with him great, and seemed like a nice guy. I didn't know him well. But when I ran for office, he was very hostile.
He said some not so nice things about you, sir.
And it's hard, like you, we're human beings.
Right.
And we don't like to have things cloud our judgment, right? But when you knew someone and you were fine, and then you run for office and he made some terrible statements. So I don't know, it's more difficult. It makes it more, I'm being honest, it makes it more difficult to do.
But more likely a no for Combs?
I would say so.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it seems like Trump isn't out of tactics to distract the public from the Epstein files quite.
A list filled with global names is almost impossible for the public to overlook. These are major figures with massive legacies, devoted fan bases, and carefully protected brands. Being mentioned online in the vicinity of a high-profile case, even without any verified connection, is enough to spark the kind of chatter publicists dread and commentators love. And once the internet grabs hold of names this big, the discussion spreads fast. The intrigue only grew when fans noticed sudden changes or sudden absences on a few celebrities' social media pages tied to the circulating list. Usher, who has previously collaborated with Diddy early in his career, had a post disappear from his account and later said he was dealing with a hack. The timing raised eyebrows online, especially as an old interview of his resurfaced, leading the internet to revisit past remarks he made about witnessing memorable and unusual moments during that era. Remarks now being reinterpreted through the lens of today's viral speculation.
And with this stuff that's coming out about, celebrities, these celebrities who apparently have been deleting all of their posts on Twitter, the platform now known as X, people that are, I guess some are connected to Diddy, are people that were just very, much around him, attended a lot of those parties, the infamous, what people are calling now, freak-offs. So there's three celebrities in particular. There's Usher, there's Pink, and there's Megan Fox. And with this, there is, on a couple of these things, there is a fair amount of misinformation, actually, that has been going around about this whole thing about, why of a sudden all these celebrities, now they're all deleting their posts from on X, what have they got to hide? And it seems to have been just something that, it gets out there on X, one person posts it, it gains traction, and then so many other people roll with it. But going through this stuff here, so first off, there's Usher. So Usher, it was the other day that it came out, that it was revealed that, all of a sudden there's no more posts from Usher. All of his posts, the tweets, whatever, you used to call them tweets, they're all gone. But then it was yesterday evening, Usher tweeted, account got hacked and damn y'all ran with it. And then see you tonight in Tuit Dome. So I guess he had a concert on that night, last night. So apparently this is the whole, my account got hacked, sorry, but I'm going to get back to that one. But with a couple of other ones, there is some misinformation going around with that, and it has been fact checked. So, and there's a lot of these accounts that it's the same people that do this. And what it was this supposedly was breaking news that actress Megan Fox has deleted every post she created on Instagram and deleted every post on Twitter X up to 2013, leaving fans to believe it's connected to the Diddy case. Usher and Pink deleted all of their posts, X/Twitter posts earlier today. We come to find out that was fact checked, that was wrong. What happened was that Pink had quit Twitter and deleted all but 2 retweets in February 2024. And then Megan Fox didn't delete her tweets. She used it for under a week in January 2013 before quitting Twitter. And then if I go down a bit more, she already wiped her Instagram in May 2024. So let's get to the stuff with Pink. Okay, so February 2024. She's only got like 2 retweets up on her account. I know she very rarely maybe used Twitter, and she was more like an Instagram person. And some say that it's kind of like she's one of these like left-wing, anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk, type people. So some are saying that it's actually got nothing to do with Diddy, and this is more like an anti-Elon thing, which could be the case. I'm not saying that's wrong, but that's the truth though. People are making out like this was just done. I think they're making out like Usher, Megan Fox and Pink followed Usher with deleting their posts, but that did not happen because this was back in February 2024 that she deleted her posts. Now, is it possible because the stuff with Diddy with the lawsuit with Cassie late last year? Now, is it possible Pink maybe being quite smart, clued up, maybe just a team or people around her? And there's stuff there's posts, backdated stuff from being around Diddy at parties and events. Did she maybe think it was best just to delete all her posts altogether and just be done with that because there was stuff on there from the past with her and Diddy?
Pink cleared her social media pages, and Megan Fox went even further by wiping both Instagram and X, moves that sparked immediate speculation. To many, the timing looked intentional, though nothing has been confirmed. While digital cleanups are common in Hollywood, seeing several major names do it around the same time naturally fuels online theories. The discussion grew even louder when an old clip resurfaced of Khloe Kardashian casually recalling a past Diddy party, describing the atmosphere as unusually wild. Her light-hearted tone was clear, but revisited now, the moment is being re-examined under today's wave of online curiosity.
A bunch of my friends. Diddy, Quincy, Justin Bieber, so far French so good. Montana. Do you even know half the people you're naming? No. She didn't go to bed. I haven't been to bed yet. You haven't? I want to be Khloe when I grow up, Court. I got on a plane at 5:30 a.m. About this party. I think half the people there were butt naked.
Khloe's light-hearted story echoed long circulating online chatter about how some of Diddy's past events reportedly shifted in tone as the night went on, and the resurfaced clip has revived conversations about who may have seen or heard what over the years. This is where public perception becomes powerful. Once an old comment is pulled back into the spotlight, it gets reinterpreted through whatever new narratives are trending. What was once just a casual, humorous memory is now being treated by the internet as part of a larger puzzle. And because Khloe comes from one of the most media-savvy families in entertainment, many viewers are convinced she knew exactly how much impact a single remark could have, which only fuels the ongoing speculation.
Because I'm not saying this is what happened. If there's a round of kids, it's the trafficker. P. Diddy gets a round of kids. Let's say that round of kids had Justin Bieber in it. There's contracts, okay? There's contracts for codes within that person. So they can take a remote and turn that person off. Britney Spears, when they want to. Lindsay Lohan, when they want to. Amanda Bynes, when they want to. Okay? So let's say there's a contract for Justin Bieber. When P. Diddy has a hold of Justin Bieber, he now owns half of those codes. If Usher had the same contract and trafficked Bieber out to P. Diddy, okay, Usher and P. Diddy now have parts of Justin Bieber's contract. Do you understand what I'm saying? So if one goes down, the other side of the code has to go down. If there's a property linked to that person, Kevin Hart, because they had something to do with the trafficking of Bieber, then their property will go down because there's a code to that property. There's a code to everything. And your social security number is like a code. Okay. But depending on the level of MK Ultra, people have auctions for the codes on that person. So they can use a remote to them like a TV and shut them down, turn it up, use somebody else, change it whenever they feel like it. Bookmark it. Trust me. Trust me, bookmark it. Okay? I know it's probably not gonna make sense right now, but bookmark it.
MK Ultra is used, but to get MK Ultra to take hold the way it needs to be, it has to involve satanic ritual, extreme trauma, humiliation, just evil on a level you can't imagine. I don't care what you all think about Trump. I'm not sure what I think about Trump, but he is telling you the truth on a lot of things. You guys just don't understand what he's saying. When he's saying they're eating the cats and dogs, he's preparing your hearts and your minds for the fact that satanic ritual abuse is about to come into the light in a big way. Voodoo is about to come into the light in a big way. Cannibalism is about to come into the light in a big way. All of those things
Justin Bieber's name often reappears in conversations involving Diddy, simply because of how close they were during Bieber's early rise, with Diddy publicly described as a mentor and the two frequently seen together at events. Now, as Diddy faces legal scrutiny, Bieber's team has emphasized that he's focused on his personal life, especially fatherhood, and has no plans to engage with any of the surrounding accusations. But online, silence rarely stops speculation. It usually accelerates it. The renewed circulation of old photos and interviews of the two has amplified public curiosity, especially since Bieber has long balanced fame, controversy, and constant tabloid attention. His past association with Diddy has never been hidden, but in moments like this, every old interaction gets re-examined as people attempt to connect dots that have no verified link. This is how internet narratives take shape, and once they start gaining traction, they're extremely difficult to slow down.
Anybody else say until the federal government came in, because nobody knew, Mighty. Nobody knew before the federal government came in and hit Puff with those charges that any of this would have ever happened. You could not tell me, nobody could predict that this dude would be sitting on trial for his life. It just wasn't in the cards. And now that this thing has happened, it's made YouTube a lot of money. It's made content creators a lot of money. And everybody is talking about something that we started. Way back with Wisdom Clear MREC, you took over and took it to a whole nother level. Everybody is using it. Everybody is saying that it's Gene Deal's fault. It's Gene Deal who did this. Cassie and a couple other people now, since the federal government got involved in it. Nobody could predict what will happen, but I'm going to tell you what I think is going to go down, brother. Because a lot of shit has gone, and a lot of people who wasn't at the trial or didn't hear the prosecution do what they did would think Diddy might be getting off. A lot of people think that Diddy might be getting off because they don't know the letter of the law. The prosecution, let's start with them. They did a great job. They did a great job in explaining what trafficking, the 11 charges. The 11 charges, well, it's 4 or 5 charges, but they got different, like trafficking, then paying a prostitution. Actually, they might have paying to transporting prostitution. They got different checkpoints, and that the juror's going to have to go through to check off whether this guy is guilty of the things they saying. The RICO law, they have different statutes of the RICO law that the prosecution had to prove, as well as racketeering. You know what I'm saying? All this started by what I said, the character of this gentleman, the character of Puff, what he has done over the years to people.
Diddy is currently facing serious federal charges, including racketeering, and has been denied bail twice since his September arrest. While he maintains his innocence, details from the investigation, ranging from items recovered during the raid to law enforcement descriptions of his property, have dominated headlines. One officer involved compared aspects of Diddy's social circles to other high-profile cases, noting that certain gatherings had reportedly been occurring for many years. The officer emphasized that not everyone present was implicated in illegal activity, though some behaviours raised questions during the event's later hours. Statements like these suggest that aspects of Hollywood's private worlds may have been more visible, or at least more widely discussed, behind the scenes than the public realized.
Porter was swingers, and a lot of people was wondering, yo, in the comment section, how do you know that, yo? Like, was you doing security when they was doing that or something?
Because when they were in the room and they would go in the room with another couple, right? And I've seen some things happen in the jacuzzi. Like when I'm the only one could go to the room 9 times out of 10. When Puff was the one who, was in the presidential suite, I'm the only one allowed. I gotta watch the door. No one can get into that door. I'm the only one that had the pass key or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes you would hear a boom, 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 a thump or whatever the situation is and stuff like that. Yo, what's up? Everything good? And sometimes they would open the door. I'm right there by the door. Sometimes you see things you don't want to see.
Hey, did they ever try to get you involved? Or
not at all.
Or for you?
Not at all. Puff did it one time, but that's in my book. When he was coming from Dallas, he had the snow bunnies. And I reneged on that. Nah, I'm good.
Hey, did you see any celebrities Puffy did any of that stuff with? The swinger stuff with?
Yeah, I did.
Tell me about that.
I think I told you about that. One time, him and Sarah and this young girl flew from Atlanta. And they, and flying from Atlanta, we had this artist with us, right? And we were staying in the presidential suite at the hotel. And this particular artist and Puff, they told me, don't let nobody come in the room. So I said, all right, cool. So I propped my chair by the room door while they went in. So this artist's cousin knocked on the door. So I went to him and I let him in because I knew him. I see his face and everything. I've seen his face several times before. He said, yo, I got to speak to my cousin.
In cases like this, the comparisons law enforcement draws speak volumes. Linking Diddy's situation to some of the most notorious figures in celebrity history sets a tone the public can't easily ignore. Even without direct charges against those mentioned in circulating discussions, association alone can shape reputations. Enter Katt Williams, whose blunt interviews and fearless commentary have long made industry insiders uneasy. Known for exposing hidden corners of Hollywood culture, Katt has never shied away from connecting dots others avoid.
When I wrote it out to kill the careers of the people I was talking about, right? But it was so vicious that I erased all of the knockout blows and just left the jabs so that the comic I'm talking about knows that I know your real story. I'm gonna tell this, but you know what else.
While he hasn't confirmed every name on viral lists, his past remarks about exclusive gatherings and secretive social circles are now heavily referenced online in connection with Diddy's case. His reputation for speaking candidly gives his voice weight, not because he holds definitive proof, but because audiences trust him to share what he's observed. Time and again, his commentary has sparked debate, prompted celebrity responses, and occasionally aligned with later revelations, cementing his credibility in the court of public opinion and ensuring his observations are taken seriously.